Hi, I'm Travis Montague. I'm the founder and CEO of Holler, and this is Conversation Nation. Today, I'm joined by Kuda Biza, co-founder and CMO of Nunbelievable.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. So, first off, I just think everything is cool. Tell me more about the business, how,
Yes.
what it does, etc.
Yeah, so Nunbelievable is a mission-based baked goods company, and we're on a mission to help solve the hunger crisis in the United States. More than 40 million people in America struggle with hunger, and we're trying to solve that one cookie at a time.
Yeah.
So for every box of 12 cookies, we donate 2 meals to a partner soup kitchen across the country.
What made you get involved into this particular initiative?
Yeah, so the story is quite interesting actually. So one of our founders, Tony Robbins, found out about a group of nuns in San Francisco that were being evicted. He went out there and he helped the nuns.
Yeah.
And through that process, he realized that the nuns were selling these French artisanal baked goods to generate money that they would use to sustain themselves, but also to support a soup kitchen.
Yeah.
So there are 4 soup kitchens across the country, that particular order of nuns, and each soup kitchen feeds about 400 people per day.
Yeah.
So the idea came about, which was how can we create a brand that we can really bring to the masses, because the nuns were basically just selling at farmers markets and
Yeah.
they didn't have broad distribution. So the team came together and we created Nunbelievable, and right now we're literally launching the brand and we're excited to bring it to the public.
Yeah, so because I didn't understand, I was like, the connection between nuns and cookies, was it just like something they love to do? Was it, and then you saw it as an opportunity to make it into a commercial business?
Yeah, well, for us, it was really inspired by the story of the nuns, which was they were being selfless. You know, they were making these baked goods to feed people within their communities that are struggling, and we wanted to create a brand that supports that and also help solve the broader issue within the United States. Like I said, 40 million people in the US struggle with hunger.
Yeah.
That's more than the population of Canada.
Wow.
So, when you start putting that,
When you put that into perspective.
yeah,
that's
when you
wild.
start putting that
Yeah.
into perspective, you start thinking about how, as an entrepreneur, can I help solve some of these challenges that we're facing in society, and we're doing it in a delicious way with our cookies.
I'm like, as you're talking, I'm still stuck on there is the same amount of people struggling with hunger in the United States as the population of Canada.
More than the population.
More than that to me is like for a longer conversation.
Yep.
So talk to me about the products that we have here. I see different flavors.
Yep.
Are these the core flavors that they started out initially?
Yeah, so this is our initial collection. As a business, we're gonna go into other categories within the baked goods space, but we're starting off with 4 flavors. So this one right here is a double chocolate chip. This is gluten-free.
Yeah.
All of our cookies are made with better-for-you, non-GMO ingredients.
Yeah.
So they're really made with good stuff. We also have a oatmeal raisin, chocolate chip, and peanut butter. And these are 3-ounce cookies that are soft bake and really delicious.
So if you had to recommend one to me, which one would it be?
Well, my personal favorite is the oatmeal raisin, but you can never go wrong with the chocolate chip as well as the double chocolate, but also peanut butter is great. So it's like asking a parent which one is their favorite kid. But my personal preference is oatmeal raisin, but chocolate chip is also quite great.
So the product launched today. When was the launch?
So we did a pre-launch campaign in August, but the official launch date is right now, which is mid-October. So we've been working with our culinary center in California to really come up with some really delicious recipes, and we're now bringing them to market. So quite excited about this 4th quarter, because fourth quarter is really a season of giving.
Yeah.
And since we're also really big about giving back, we're excited to be launching in this same time frame.
So, I've been talking to a lot of different companies who are building mission-driven brands.
Yeah.
And it's been inspiring to hear the founding story of these companies. When I look at what you all have done here, to take a spark of an idea and use it to tackle such a large problem as hunger is really inspiring. You're now at the point where you're going to start scaling the brand and the story. What are the things that you believe are critical for people to understand about the brand in order for the brand to be successful and resonate, across the United States and beyond?
So for us, I think the first critical thing is that we're not just a transactionally based business. We want to transform people's lives, and not just the people that we're going to be impacting through our giving, but starting with the customers, right? We want you to have an exciting experience when you try our cookies. We want to create non-believable moments where, when you enjoy it with your friends and your family, it's something that you remember. But also even the partners that we work with in our supply chain process. We want to make sure that we're partnering with people that have, the best-in-class ingredients, and also with the customers that we're going to be serving from a retail perspective. We want to make sure that there's alignment there as well.
Yeah, the brand strategy, so it's really unique. I mean, all the packaging is really great. What struck me when I was looking at the website and looking at the product is how fun the brand has become. So could you talk to me more about the strategy for the brand?
Yeah, so the strategy really is we want to be approachable. We really want people to know that although we're tackling a very serious issue, which is hunger, but we're doing it in a very playful way, right? We want people to engage with us. And that's what the brand strategy is all about. It's all about creating these non-believable moments with non-puns that you're going to be seeing on social media. I'll give you an example. These cookies are second to none, so there's going to be a lot of that type of language that's going to be incorporated in our branding, because we feel with the target customer that we're targeting, they will really resonate with this, playful, not serious, but quite engaging approach. So we're quite excited about that.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this particular business, from my perspective, in the baked goods category, I haven't heard of many that have taken such a stance from cookies to solving hunger, right? And tying that in there. And so in a space where, there's a lot of cookies that people could buy off the shelf or online, there's a story here that makes this break through. So I would love to hear from you. What about the whole story and the whole initiative that you have going on? What elements are you looking at as going to be the driver of breaking through the noise with respect to making sure that this brand is the brand of choice for people when they're choosing the cookies that they want to eat?
So it is true that the world doesn't need another cookie company, right?
Yeah.
There are so many cookie options out there. But for us, I think it is our story plus the mission that really make us unique. So the founding story, as we earlier alluded to, the group of nuns that were making baked goods to help feed people. Yeah. Plus the mission that we stand by, which is to help end hunger here in the United States. I think those two combined is really what's gonna really gravitate with people. The other thing that we feel people will resonate with and that will differentiate us is gonna be our brand personality. We spoke about it earlier, very fun and playful and something different. We feel that those key tenets is really gonna engage our consumer base in a very exciting way.
That's awesome. Do you think that there's, right now it's cookies, but in reality you could scale this to?
Yes, we do feel that there's potential to expand into other categories beyond cookies, starting first within the baked goods space. So we can do muffins and different food and beverages and so forth and so forth. However, before we get ahead of ourselves, we first want to launch this line of cookies and then get a sense of how the market is reacting, and then identify strategically what are the next areas of growth. Other mission-based companies like Tom's Shoes have been able to make that shift from just being shoes to now focusing into different things like coffee and eyewear and so forth and so forth.
Yeah.
So we feel is going to be a natural growth for us, but we have to do it at the right time. We have to do it within the right categories. But right now we're just focused on delivering a delicious cookie that will also deliver a delicious meal to someone in need.
What particular challenges keep you up at night about this business?
Well, nothing keeps me up at night.
Yeah.
But the things that I would say probably are top of mind is really how we're gonna, stand out within the noise. We spoke about a lot of cookie brands being out there. So for us, it's how do we get into the marketplace in a different way, in a way that allows us to stand out. And also win the hearts of our customers. My goal is that we're not getting customers, but we're getting raving fans, people who then really go behind the brand and elevate us to the next level.
Yeah.
So really thinking about how do we just go beyond acquiring the consumer, but bringing them as part of the brand and the impact. Those are the things that we're trying to figure out. Some of the things that we're talking about is how can we get some of our customers to actually even volunteer at the soup kitchens that we actually are going to be feeding people, because then it takes the customer from just having kind of like a bird's eye view of what we do to actually
Getting
seeing
involved, yeah.
and engaging and talking to these people. So we're still working through all those details, but we hope that pretty soon we'll also have that platform where customers can actually then come and sit down and have a conversation with the people that are directly being impacted from our, buy one, give one model.
Yeah, it's interesting. You talk about breaking through and standing out and using purpose as a way to do that. I know here at Holler, there is a lot of companies that you leverage consumer data to provide all sorts of experiences that they expect and experiences that they don't really expect. In general, whether it's choosing the cookie they want to eat or choosing the technologies that they spend time with, they're looking at the mission of those brands in order to drive where they're going to spend money or time and all these different things. And so one of the things that, where this really resonates with me is that on our end, we're building a purpose-driven brand, the next generation tech company that knows how to deliver consumers and experiences and leveraging that they enjoy and adds value for that user, while at the same time, we are not engaging in practices that other major tech firms have engaged in that violates user privacy and other things in a way, or use user data in ways that they haven't intended. If we do things the right way, right, always do things the right way, then we could, the user will choose, and that will ultimately have a tailwind effect on the businesses and accelerate them. Talking to co-founders like you really excite me because it gives me new ideas of how to think about how the way we approach these particular things, and it's not really the what that we're to focus on, but it's the why.
Why? For us, we see the product as an enabler. Our real why as a brand is we want to impact lives, right? And we've been fortunate that we found a product, i.e. cookies, that enables us to impact people, both from a delicious experience, but also from the real issue of the problem, which is hunger. So for us, the why is the key driving force in a lot of decisions that we do.
Well, I'm gonna shift gears a little bit and ask a fun question.
Sure.
What was the last emoji that you used?
It was actually the chocolate chip emoji that I used for obvious reasons, being in the cookie business. But I tend to use a lot of cookie emojis nowadays. So I'm actually curious to learn, what was your last emoji that you used?
My last emoji, it probably, well, I'm a big animated sticker user, so I'm kind of like advanced. But it probably was like one of our characters, Romion, doing thanks. And I was thanking our guests for coming by and spending time with us.
Okay.
So thank you for coming on, having a conversation with me.
Thank you for having me.
Congrats on the business. This is awesome stuff.
And you can give the cookies to your team and enjoy.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.